Oh my days.
No.
Star Wars is great, man.
Was he serious though?
Yeah.
Oh, and thinks he's sick? Damn. Who is he? I'm gonna shout him out.
Where does he work?
Disgusting.
Even worse.
Mitsubishi and Orleans. Like it's just
I know, right?
I'm not even sure what.
The used car dealership.
Bow.
Yeah, that's what it is. Anybody who deals with Mitsubishi as a brand. Is it Delari in Orleans? Maybe.
Wait, what? Mitsubishi doesn't have a.
So Mitsubishi has new cars, but basically what you do is
Because nobody buys them?
what it is that when you have a new car
suck.
manufacturer, it automatically comes with a backing of certain banks. So for financing purposes, they'll work with you a little bit more easily and better because you're a new car dealership.
Yeah.
But Mitsubishi doesn't sell a lot of new cars. So really you're just doing that to get the banks to back it, and then you just unload a bunch of used cars in there instead.
Oh.
You make more, you sell more used cars than you do new, but you just have the new car aspect so that you hold the banks with
Oh.
you. So that they'll work with
Wow, you know, I forgot. Rabieh used to
Sleazy car salesman.
work in cars.
Yeah.
Sleazy cars.
Bro, I know car salesmen that fucking hate car salesmen. Like, they think
Yeah.
that car salesmen are the worst.
You know what the problem is though is maybe we should roll and talk about this. The problem with being good is nobody believes you or trusts you. So when I started selling cars, I was very like naive and very kind. And
Yeah.
anytime I tried to help somebody, because everybody always comes in and says, "What's your best price? What's your best price?"
Yeah.
And anytime we tried to help them and guide them, be like, this is kind of relatively where you can get a deal. They didn't believe me. Why? Because they're not expecting the car salesman to actually be honest with them.
Yeah.
So then they would go take my price and go somewhere else. And of course, anybody else is willing to beat it by a couple $100 to earn the business, right?
Yeah.
So
Even though you were pretty straightforward. person.
except I was just straightforward, but nobody believed that I was being as straightforward as I was. Then you had to learn how to just like
Make
finesse
them-
it, and
yeah.
like you had to give it to them in pieces. So that instead of telling them, "Yeah, I'll get you $1,000 off," but like, guys, you're lucky to get what you're getting. Maybe I'll try and get you a couple $100 off. Then you get them to ask you for the $1,000 off. So you're gonna get to the same endpoint. But if you give it to them straight right off the cut, they're not trusting or believing that you're actually giving it to them straight. So
instead, you're gonna lie to them to get them to
You're
the
gonna-
same
you're gonna-
point.
you're
No,
not-
but he's just making the client work for it.
No, of course.
but that's the thing.
totally
And if
kidding.
they don't work for it, they're not going to appreciate it, and they're not going to think they got a
Yeah.
deal. And that's
Is your neck okay?
yeah. I'm just trying to kind of keep my thing, keep my mouth to the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not liking this right now.
You're not?
No, it's just
What-
awkward because I can't
what do
look
you
left.
mean?
and right. Can you hear me right now, Jacob, or is it fucking up the sound? Okay, so I can't turn my head. You told me I couldn't turn my head. You were there for that, and so were you.
I don't think
I
you
don't
said
remember
that.
I think you just wanted to be awkward about it.
Yeah.
So
Anyways.
so keep telling us about how you're a sleazeball back then.
So I wasn't a sleazeball, but like I told you, if you were too honest with people, they didn't trust that you were being honest with them. So then they try to take advantage of you at that point. So you
So
just
the customer is the one that made you into a sleazeball.
Yeah.
110%.
Yeah.
110%.
No.
Yeah. I actually, some guy tried to sue me once. He came and he served me and my colleague papers.
For what? For selling them a car?
Because he claimed that we lied about the price, but like the
What do you
price
mean you
was on the
lied about
paper.
price?
He had a I remember this perfectly. We're not going to get into too much details, but basically this guy came in for a visit, looked at a car, test drove it, wanted to come back with his wife. Came back with his wife, then they're like, okay, we want to trade in our car as well. So I gave them a trade-in value, and this is the price of the car. Blah, blah, okay, I got to go home and think about it. The guy calls me up and says, okay, Rabieh, I'm coming in. I'm ready to make the deal. I'm like, okay, cool. You asked me about these accessories. This is the price on these accessories.
Who's Robbie?
Me.
Totally
Fucking
kidding.
guy.
At Rabieh.
Yeah. Rabieh, whatever. Anyways, the guy comes in and he's like, okay, I'm going to take it. And he didn't negotiate. And it was really weird for me because I'd never dealt with a client. I was still new. I'd never dealt
You're
with a
ready
client.
to lie to him.
No, man. I'd never. This is actually the opposite. So I'd never dealt with a client who didn't try to negotiate. So it was really awkward. So I'm okay, cool. The price is what it is. I'm like, what about those accessories you wanted? And he's like, no, they're too expensive for me. I'm just going to save up some money and come back. This was an older man.
Oh,
And
okay.
he was doing Meals on Wheels, helping other old people. I'm like, what a nice guy.
so good. Yeah.
So I'm okay, like, I'm going to help this guy out right now. I'm like, what if I could include these accessories for you for free? And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. Meanwhile, in the back of my head, I knew they were cheap accessories. I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
By doing that, I forego some of my commission, but I'm like, for the marginal commission I'm going to make off this,
It's what he's gonna
Make
be
him
super
happy.
happy.
I'd rather
Yeah,
do this
yeah,
for a
yeah,
nice guy who's doing something nice and helping other old
And you
people.
got full pop anyway, so you're
Exactly. So
Yeah.
like all day. So I go, I get him the deal, and like a month later, the guy comes back, and I remember his words verbatim. I've had the wool pulled over my eyes before, but not quite like you did it to me, Rabieh. I swear to God. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you overcharged me 10 grand. I'm like, no, man. This is, and like literally, there's a bill of sale. It breaks
and
everything
you
down.
had sent it to him, and he thought about
He
it.
signed and initialed on everything. And yeah, he 3 visits. He took 3 or 4 visits to make
Yeah,
this
so
deal.
it's not like he walked in and
No,
out.
man.
Yeah.
No. And like I was new.
10K.
I didn't pressure people.
Yeah.
What he did is he took the price of
You
the
pressure
car.
people later on. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I pressured people later on. He took the price of the car and subtracted his 10K trade-in value, but forgot any of the fees or taxes.
Taxes. Yeah.
But everything's written, right? And he's initialed and signed everywhere. Like
Yeah.
we
it's quite
operate in
detailed.
such a way. Yeah, it's
so
extremely detailed.
It's
So you can't. It's hard to actually lie to people. Where the lie is if you're telling someone something and then they're like, "Well, it's not on paper." Like, "Oh, don't worry." That's where they're lying to you. But like,
Yeah.
it's literally all there. So after that day, I'm like, man, like, what am I being?
No,
nice for?
I think the lies. I don't think car sales guys like. I think that's the impression that people have
Yeah.
is that they lie, but they don't lie. Basically, what they're there for the owner of the dealership.
Yeah.
Right. And they are there to protect the margins of that dealership. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're negotiating on their behalf. They're not negotiating for you. And so you're like, "What's your best price?" Well, if you came to buy anything from
Yeah.
any store, and you're like, "What's the best price?" Well, obviously, I'm going to start high. You're going to start low. And
Yeah,
that's
and then you meet
mean,
somewhere in the
so,
middle.
yeah.
100%.
You know?
But yeah, so you can't be too nice.
All
That's
right.
very
With
interesting.
that, we
Yeah.
will segue into episode 2
Of season 2.
I'm gonna say,
of
I think
season
it's
2.
more than episode
I'm like,
2. I forgot we're going by seasons now.
Yes.
How popular we become.
We're so popular.
Man.
Actually, our last diaper was last diaper.
Our light diaper, eh?
Diaper.
Dapper.
Last diaper, short. Got really good views. So thank you for that.
Shut your mouth, Omar.
That's not nice.
We've had enough of you already.
That's not nice.
We're only 5 minutes in.
You're the one that's been talking the whole time with your fucking
True.
neck.
They asked me a question. I answered it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's so weird to listen to somebody else.
So yeah, welcome. Episode 2, season 2. I think something we want to start doing with the podcast as a whole, kind of moving forward, is kind of spotlighting maybe some of our friends and some of the businesses that we frequent in our day-to-day lives, on top of talking about the real estate, because I think that that's a big part of our lives as it is. Big part of kind of our jobs is like networking with all these people. And you know, you'll also get a glimpse at kind of people that we know and we like their business, that kind of thing.
Our networks.
This kind of thing. Also spotlighting different, you know, spots in the city of Ottawa that, like, you know, really make it great.
Yeah.
In our personal
Yeah.
opinions and that kind of thing. So moving forward, we're gonna start having a lot more guests on. We haven't talked to Jacob about it, but we might be switching up the scene sometimes.
Some offsite appearances.
We'll talk about that after.
He's nodding, so that's
Yeah,
good.
So that's a good sign. Yeah, you'll
So
be
I'll
able
just
to
charge
it
you.
while we're recording, so that he
Yeah.
can't say no.
And he's going to maintain the same price,
Of course.
including travel time and setup.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're going.
The silence is an agreement.
That's going to be the direction for BAM, Broke Ass Millionaires, because I think that, you know, showing off some of these local businesses and that kind of thing, getting a kind of a glimpse in the life of, you know, business owners in Ottawa is kind of a big thing to us. And all of these things also lead into real estate, and we will of course keep you in tune with real estate news, real estate stats, predictions, all the things kind of affecting the real estate market, and just layering it in with some key things from Ottawa.
I feel like it all ties into each other too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
different locations will get people's different perspectives on how they feel, business owners, especially if someone switched from one location to another and see how that affected their business positively, negatively,
That's a good
all
idea.
that sort of stuff. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Good idea,
absolutely.
Elliott.
Plus,
I like
honestly,
it.
we
It
don't-
wasn't my idea. I would love to take credit, and I know Omar would if he was talking.
I'm taking credit anyways.
But I
Did
think it was a
anyone ask
group.
him?
It was a group decision, and Rabieh brought it to light. To
Yeah.
be completely honest with everybody,
didn't
Rabieh
Yeah,
is the
makes sense.
mastermind behind this. We appreciate you.
he's not
Thank
just
you.
a pretty face.
No, I'm
Omar,
not.
don't say anything.
I don't think he's pretty at all.
Omar just has an obsession with my hair.
Well, okay. Well, I just want to segue into that. Earlier, the production staff thought that the
Shut your
light
mouth,
was
Omar.
pointing at Rabieh's hair too much. It was shining too much because of all the gel,
Oh man.
and so they pushed up. Like it's not as bright as it usually is on us because Rabieh's hair was in the way.
It's not my fault, man. I couldn't go for a haircut, okay?
Yeah, but half a tub, like it's very
It's
expensive.
not half a tub. There's not even
Yeah.
any gel in here.
You know, with the tariffs coming in, like I don't know
I
how you're gonna.
I don't know if I'm
afford
gonna
it.
afford this. I'm gonna have to shave my head. Look
Actually,
like
it
Omar.
affects the importing country.
Oh yeah, yeah. If
The import-
Jacob was listening last time, Jacob's our number one
Yo,
watcher.
don't throw it on Jacob, okay?
Yeah.
Don't throw
You
it
want
on
to
Jacob.
introduce your friend?
This is actually my son.
Oh, hello.
So last episode, you guys actually were talking about how shitty your lives were because of your children.
I never said my life was shitty. I was getting shot on.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a very big difference
Yeah.
between the two things.
And remember, these kids are gonna watch this stuff later when they're like 20. You know,
That's right. Yeah.
and so we don't want them thinking that we don't love them
Yeah.
and that they've ruined our life.
That's fair. That's fair. So what you say in private shouldn't be said on the
Well,
podcast.
I never said
I
anything
plead
like
the
that in private.
So yeah, I decided to bring my own son onto the podcast. This is Prince.
Hello, Prince.
He a little bit better than a human child, actually. I do have to walk him and I do have to pick up his shit, which
Yeah.
is like not the best, but like
Yeah.
otherwise this is just him.
Has he ever shot on you?
No, definitely
good.
not.
No,
Yeah,
we could train them. We
Yeah.
have the resources in
Yeah.
house.
Put a diaper on him. I'm sure he'll shit on you when you go to change it.
Speaking of kids, though, maybe it could be something we talk about in terms of the entrepreneurship kind of avenue.
Yeah.
What is it like, kind of running a business with kids? Because mine's very well behaved.
Yeah.
Um,
Yours talks a lot.
I just have to
He's
to go home
loquacious.
sometimes to walk him.
Could I
like
tell you
said.
something? I think I'd rather have a kid than a dog.
Damn,
Yeah, no offense, Prince.
it's okay, my
But
boy.
I feel like at least if you have a kid, you can take them places. If you're going to a restaurant, if you're going traveling, if you're doing all these things.
Have you
I
taken
take
your
him.
kid to the restaurant?
Not yet, but
Yeah.
we are heading
In that direction.
in that direction.
It's great when like
Yeah.
you have to eat while you're standing up. It's amazing. And like running
not
after
there- I'm not there yet.
No, it's really nice. You
Yeah?
should try it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think everybody should have children.
But I just feel like everyone's always got to run home to go feed their dog. Everyone's got to go run home to go walk their dog. Whereas,
Well, you can't leave the kid at home.
Well, that's my whole point. You bring the kid with you. You
Yeah,
don't have to
right.
worry about those things, so you can stay out. I guess I haven't been there yet with taking the kid to the restaurant to know how that goes. But
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have like this anchor with you at all times. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but your anchor is just at home. That's the difference.
yeah, but he takes care of his damn self.
Yeah,
Leave
but
some
if you
food
wanted to
out.
go, vacation,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have to get like so many shots and all this stuff before you
No.
even leave town.
Oh,
You can bring him on a cruise.
bro, everybody wants to babysit the dog. Okay, everybody. It's not hard. I literally, me or Mel's parents.
Yeah.
You say, oh,
Your
we're
fiance?
leaving town. Both of them. I'll take Prince. I'll take Prince.
Wait,
I'll
wait.
take
What
Prince."
did you just say, Omar?
No, I thought his fiance's parents. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I fiance?
Congratulations.
I didn't say.
Congratulations, Elliott. I didn't know this.
It's not true. Everybody keeps trying to convince me to get married and to have children.
Oh, so
What-
are you questioning our children status and whatnot because you're thinking of having children
No,
soon?
not at
Is
all.
that
What I
why?
want to
actually.
understand, everyone's trying to convince him. Would you not?
No, that's
Love Mel?
definitely the plan. But
Is that what it is?
I hesitated because I don't want to put it out there.
Yeah.
But like,
This guy's proposing before this thing goes live.
no, actually, you see how
No, he's
It's flabbergasted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you
never
fucked me
loses
on that
words. Wow, he's on the spot. Yeah. So is it
He's him,
Princess
bro. He's
cut
all worried all of a
diamond?
sudden.
What kind of diamond are you buying?
we'll see when we get there. Yeah.
all
Um,
options are on the table.
yeah.
At the end, actually, my sister did claim that like she wanted to be a part of that. So super easy on me. You know, in business how we delegate.
Delegate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So really, I just have to call my sister, be like, hey,
Yo.
it's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not happening yet, babe. But hey, it's happening, and then like magically everything gets done for me.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be great when it does happen.
We're one
but
step closer.
we're
You
not
said
there
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Where-
one step
where-
closer
when-
now. We're
When's the
working on it.
bachelor party?
That's all Omar's right about.
I'll let you know.
Thank you. Can I be invited?
Rabieh is definitely invited.
Yeah.
You
Omar,
can
I'm
invite
invited
him
there.
under one condition, bro. Just stop talking. All right.
I can't help it. It's genetic, bro.
Don't worry, you guys will be there. Don't worry.
Thank you. I'll be the best.
It won't be there yet.
So let's open up a bigger can of worms, Elliot. What's got you hesitant
Hesitant on what?
on the proposal?
Absolutely nothing.
Why is now
I
not
have
the
a
right
plan.
time?
I have
Okay.
a plan.
Tell us the plan.
Yeah, we want to know.
Is it a surprise?
Our viewers want to know what's
Bro, okay, listen. What I'm gonna spend on a wedding, because between the two of us, we have enough friends. First of all, we don't know if we want to go big, small wedding. The amount of money I'm gonna spend on a wedding, that's a whole down payment on a next investment property.
Absolutely.
honestly.
So I'm trying to
Get married down
get
south.
at least like 2-3
Yeah.
properties, and then we'll deal with it. At the end of the
So
day,
Mel, now you know.
No.
Once you have
Shut
two
your mouth,
properties.
before we get interrupted, at the end of the day, like, the wedding is cool and all that, but like my personal belief is like nothing really changes between us other than like we're married.
Yeah.
And
He's
like,
so young and naive.
No, he's so happy. Look at him.
yo, no, because at the end of the day, it's like,
I hate you,
like,
Elliot.
yeah, all right.
Like this guy's walking down. So you remember that Arthur stuff? Every day when you're walking down the street.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of
Everybody-
animal Arthur was?
Bunny?
Okay, bye, Prince.
It's a mouse.
Is it bunny?
The mouse.
Mouse?
See
Wait,
later,
you
bro.
watched Arthur? It was around for you?
Yeah,
Jacob, did you watch Arthur?
but you know the song, right?
Oh, damn.
So I agree. The wedding, won't spend money on it, man.
I really like your idea of the way you positioned it, that a wedding costs as much as a down payment
I'm
on a
gonna kill
house.
the dog.
Yeah. That was your idea to bring him. All of a sudden, the
Yeah,
dog's
yeah,
not
yeah.
as good as a
He-
baby anymore.
Yeah.
He's actually just gonna find a spot to sit down, and then he won't.
I would have just given my daughter a chew toy. She would have sat there quietly and just chewed on it.
Wait, Prince, that's a secret room that Rabieh is.
That's Omar's
If-
closet. He hasn't
Jacob,
come out of
if
it
you
yet.
put him on the couch, he'll literally just chill there.
He's so scared of Jacob.
I don't blame him.
For those of you that can't see Jacob, he's 6'7", 250 pounds.
You can
Quarterback.
find him on the Down to the Wire podcast.
No, it's called Third.
No, the
No,
podcast is
you
Down to the Wire.
idiot.
Yo, make up your mind. What the hell's the name?
The business, that studio is the third. Third place.
I get it.
The podcast is Down to the Wire.
Okay, you were asking questions before Rabieh rudely interrupted you.
Yeah, you guys got on this whole tangent about me getting married, and
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, it's not
Sorry, we
happening
got
yet.
excited, man.
You want to talk about
I
it
know
again?
you did this to Maz. You remember? And you
don't
like,
remember.
put it out there that Maz was getting married, and he was pissed about it.
Yeah.
I understand how Maz feels now. But the original question I had is, what is it like running a business day to day with young children, slightly older children,
Still young.
as a child yourself?
Oh, Rabieh, go ahead.
Like, it's
Fun.
gotta fuck up your whole routine, no?
You know what? Actually, I think it creates more of a routine because you
Mm.
need to be organized and everything's scheduled in like a calendar for everything at this point.
Mm.
So every doctor's appointment. Today we fed my daughter peanut butter for the first
Ooh.
time.
Congratulations.
So that was in my calendar because I had to be home. Because my wife is a psycho and can't do something like this on her own.
Clip it,
He
clip
means
it.
it in a loving way.
Yeah, she's great. But she was just so stressed about her having an allergy to the peanuts
Oh, I see.
and like it being anaphylactic and having to rush her to a hospital that
Yeah.
literally it was in my calendar that I had to be home between this time and that time.
And
in
it's an
case.
experience, yeah.
It is an experience. I won't lie. I kind of like being there because we just recently started feeding her all these solids and like
Yeah.
seeing her reaction trying something for the first time was pretty funny. But yeah, so all this to say, I'm actually more organized now than I've ever been because I have to be, because I know that I have to be around for certain things for my daughter's sake, to help my wife so that she doesn't go even more psycho. Just stuff
In
like
a loving
that
way.
in a loving way. But yeah, no, more organized. I don't know if you agree, Omar, that
Yeah.
we have to be more organized than ever.
For
But
sure. Plus, we are both married to Lebanese women who are very, very organized.
Yeah,
So we don't have a choice but to.
be organized.
We're told.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. You know, there's bedtime routines. Whether
Yeah.
you decide to go out and like go out party and stay up till 4. Kids waking up at 6 or 7, whatever time they're waking up regardless.
Yeah,
And
regardless.
so like you factor in all of these things because then you go, oh my god, I have to wake up in like 2 hours, and then like you
Yeah.
hate your life, you know.
Mm.
Or like you may make better decisions.
Mm.
So over time,
Well, you would
or you
hope.
may not.
or you may not, and you'd be like,
More
I'm going to
likely
deal
not.
with the consequence, and then it's just different, like by 9 a.m. like I had dropped off the kids, and then like my wife will pick up the kids after. But like, what if she has a running meeting, or I have an early meeting, or something like that? Then our whole routine, our whole day could be like misplaced because of that.
Yeah.
It's quite like, it's a big juggle, right? As the kids get older, which now Noah is 5, but he says he's size 8 because he's tall.
Nice.
Yeah, his snow pants are size 8.
Yes.
And so he's telling everybody, by the way.
I'm 8.
No, he goes, oh, well, I'm size 8.
Oh, okay.
How old are you? 5, but like size 8.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
I wonder where you got that from.
Yeah. And then we were just in Toronto for my grandma's birthday, and my aunt reminds me of the story. Last year he was over at their house, and like he didn't zip up his jacket to go outside, and he had like a cold or something like that. So she's like, oh, zip up your jacket, you're gonna get sick. And he goes, I'm already sick. She's like, it was like the saddest but funniest thing in the same time.
Oh my God.
I will say that like friends of mine that have kids besides you two,
you have friends outside of us?
I don't actually consider you guys my friends.
Awkward. Yeah.
You know what? I was going to be
you
the
guys
best
are my
man.
brothers.
I was going to do a best man speech at your wedding.
Yeah.
but now,
no, I
go talk anyways.
They say that like having kids like actually changed their lives for the better, and it like motivated them to like work harder. They said many of them say that their child, son or daughter, was born, and they actually made more money within their business after that happened.
Yep.
Because there's like this driving factor of, obviously
Absolutely.
you have to support the kid and, provide all these things. And there's just like a ton of added expenses.
Yeah. So the way I've been saying it is that kids, or having kids, is the single worst thing that ever happened to me. But at the same time, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. It's the single worst thing. But at the same time, it's the absolute greatest thing that's ever happened. Because
they're gonna clip this section.
That's fine, Joa. Don't fuck with the section, bro. No, but like it's like your life does completely change.
Yeah.
But it's just like you wake up and then you see them and they're smiling and you see them grow. It's like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Is my life like upside down? Hell yeah, it's upside down as it's ever
Elliott,
been.
You're right about whatever your other friends said. Your focus is just motivating, because sometimes like you work and you go, what's this for? And then you go, I'm just gonna go to Brazil or Costa Rica or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then so you spend the money and you maybe buy an investment or two, whatever. But then you don't have like this huge motivation. All of a sudden you have kids and you're like, oh, if I die tomorrow, what the hell is going to happen to them? So then now you're focused on the dog. You're focused on your life insurance, your health insurance, your disability, what happens to your properties, all this stuff. Like,
notice you didn't say insurance when I said
no, disability insurance. You got such shit up.
No, I agree. It's 100% motivational, completely.
And it is true. When I had Noah, like the first baby, we started like business boomed.
Yeah. Because you're no longer living for yourself, right? You're living for this little human being.
But like my focus was crazy.
My friend said,
your other friend.
My friend said,
other.
Next time I have kids, I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna have a full-time nanny. I'm not taking care of them. They can come.
I misunderstood. I thought you meant something else. Wait, how did you do it the first time?
Yeah, he had to take care of himself.
That's not what he was saying, but yeah.
No, you're too young for this. This is not PG.
Oh man.
Do you want to explain to him, or you're?
No, I'm not getting into this. They're already gonna clip my shit and mess it up and make me look like an asshole. It is what it is.
No, they already know. You're a sleazy car sales guy that turned realtor.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're looking for a realtor,
you hired me. What does that say about you?
Poor judgment skills.
I don't think you'd want to use them as your realtor with judgment skills like that. Oh, man. Omar.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I hired him.
I totally stopped listening.
You've been looking at the dog for.
I know he's worried about his kid. Do you see how it changes everything for you? Now you're worried about everything else.
Okay, so put yourself in the.
I'm actually more worried for Jacob.
So you went to an Indian restaurant the other day, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so now, if your kids don't eat spicy food, can you bring them to an Indian restaurant?
They're not invited.
Okay, but no, but you see how like you went. What time did you go?
like
9 p.m.
6:30.
Oh, okay. Well, kids would be like starting bedtime.
Well, yeah, you
routine.
wouldn't be able to because you'd be at home doing bedtime.
Do you
exactly
guys say
that.
stuff like that, and it just makes me not want to have kids?
Don't have kids. Who said?
Listen, for the first like few months, you're gonna be like a hermit in your house. That's just all it is. You're gonna be at home for the majority of the time.
I'm just gonna have a full-time nanny, is what I'm gonna do.
Sure,
Yeah, but
you're not gonna want to leave. To be honest, you're not gonna want to leave your kid with a nanny.
I'm not saying no. He's not gonna be a hermit. Like I would say, he just like with the first baby.
Omar abandons his kids all the time.
I come back.
I'm not gonna make the comment I was thinking of. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Being kicked out is different than.
But that comes back to the routine thing. So, like for me, if you want to hang out, it's gonna have to be after 7 o'clock.
8.
Yeah.
30.
For you, it's 8:30. For me, it's 7 right now.
Actually, kids not fucking
Can't
sleeping.
hang
This.
But that's what I mean. Like anyone who wants to do anything, okay, cool.
You go bed what time?
Like 10.
10.
Well, yeah.
And then you
Sleeping
wake
by
up.
11.
Yeah, but dinner at 7, home by like 9:30, bed by 10, asleep by 11.
What's wrong with you people?
Wait, dinner at 7.
Yeah,
And when am I home?
9:30.
Yeah, but you gotta drive all the way to Finley Creek and
Yeah.
back, bro.
I'm not in Finley Creek.
Wherever.
Neither am I.
Seriously. But yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, but like,
Bro, there's
bro,
a,
we
an
go
hour-
for dinner. It's like a 3-hour occasion.
Okay.
Like, I'm trying to hang out. I'm not trying to. Like,
Sorry, it was 2.5
business
hours.
meeting.
I
you know?
allotted 2.5 hours instead of 3. My apologies.
No, because there's driving.
plus travel time.
Dinner's at 7, bro.
No, if I'm meeting up with somebody like any later than 7, like I'm busy until midnight.
Yeah.
For sure.
I
We're gonna
can't-
sit, we're gonna talk,
I
and then I'm
can't-
gonna say, "Oh my god, you know what'd be great now? Cigar, hour and a half."
So if I'm
gone."
out at 7, okay, I'm checking my phone to see the status on the children because I know that like Tina's home with both, and then if one is giving her a hard time, the other one's supposed to go down like right after, and then now it's gonna be mayhem. And then
Yeah.
I'm like checking my phone. So like my 7 p.m. dinners are stressful.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
I'm the one out, it's
Mm.
stressed because I'm like, may have to go, may not, you know?
I
Because
see.
when shit hits the fan, like it's to calm 2 down during like sleep time. It's
Yeah,
like
you,
they
you
don't
abandoned
think
your
the kid,
defensive partner.
Yeah.
It's not man-to-man defense.
it's not no.
So
man.
that's why we just literally, I don't leave the house until the baby's asleep. And then obviously if we're having dinner together and we're going out together, my wife and I,
Mm-hmm.
then we get a babysitter. But literally all the babysitter is doing is just sitting there watching the monitor to make sure nothing's happening. They wake up, but like she'll be fast asleep.
But when we only had one kid, it was easier. We would just take turns.
Yeah.
Like as long as both of you have kind of practice putting the baby to
Yeah.
bed, because sometimes like at times like right now Abby's like super attached to Tina.
Yeah.
Wakes up in the middle of the night, cries like crazy if Tina's not close to her, and like that the Abby was super easy, not the first 4 months of her life, but she was crazy back then. But like you know, so it switches back and forth. You know, what were you gonna say?
Yeah.
Having a nanny's key though. Oh my god.
He's fine. He's gonna find
What's up, buddy?
somewhere to sit.
Elliott, get your kid, man. He's
Yeah.
about to get in the paint and it's gonna cause
Hold on.
problems everywhere. See, this is why. See, if we had a kid, they might be crying in a corner somewhere, but they're not getting into the paint right
Nobody
now.
puts baby in the corner.
No, nobody does. I guess this is why Ellie doesn't want to have kids.
Yeah, yeah.
That
No,
makes
this is good to see him struggle a little bit.
There we go. We're good.
Okay, well, Prince, why don't you tell us something?
Should we move on?
Yep.
Let's move on.
Here's your question.
You're him.
Trump got inaugurated.
Yeah. That was interesting.
Yeah.
You see what happened to stocks the next day?
What they
Even
do?
the
They
same
go
day?
good?
Huh?
Boom.
Boom. I know.
Boom.
The Canadian dollar actually went up because he didn't talk about our tariffs.
I
And then
saw
at
that.
night, he talked
He
about
talked about-
tariffs and
yeah,
the dollar
it
went
went-
right
oh
back.
my God.
What do you think is gonna happen like in the real estate market here if tariffs come into play, let's say, at 25%? Like how's that actually directly gonna affect real estate in
Uh,
Go ahead, Omar.
okay, so a very good question. The short answer is I'm not 100% sure. And it's hard to predict because I don't know what the tariffs are going to be on.
And there's so many factors to it.
Yeah. So think of it this way, okay? We're going to talk about supply and demand of Canadian products and services.
Mm-hmm.
That's one.
Yeah.
That will directly link you to jobs, payment, like value of salaries, like wages, and that in turn will factor in how much people get to spend.
Mm.
If people are spending equal or more than this past year, then real estate will do even better.
Mm.
If people are spending less than what we had in 2024, think of it as the economy shit.
Yeah.
We're going to lose jobs. Businesses are going to shut down. Therefore, there's less money in the community.
Yeah.
And less trust in the economy. People are going to take a step back.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen this year in general? Do you have predictions in Ottawa? We'll talk about Ottawa specifically.
I think what happens in Ottawa is really going to be directly correlated with government, who takes
elections,
who wins the elections, and what their plan is. Because obviously everyone knows cuts are coming. How drastic are they going to be? How immediate are they going to be? Because nice thing with Ottawa, obviously, most of the jobs are in government, or a big chunk of them. So as long as people have stable jobs, I think that's going to help things, right? At the end of the day, the people who are looking to buy real estate are people who had good incomes already. Hopefully those aren't the people who are losing their jobs. I don't think those are the people who are going to lose their jobs.
It's not targeted. It's not. I don't think it's program targets. It's not. It's people focused.
I know it's program targeted, but at the end of the day, if your program gets cut, but you're a top earner and you're doing good in your job, you're going to be able to move into a different program.
So I was just going to say, like,
so I feel like it's going to be a lot of the casuals who would be losing their jobs.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are the people who are going to be looking and shopping for a house.
Well, IRCC, the immigration department, just cut about a quarter of its workforce.
Yeah.
And they said largely contractors, and there are some permanent positions being cut.
Yeah. But are those people who are close to retirement, or they're just like retire early?
A quarter of a department, though, is quite significant.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. Like, whether you call them contractors or not, that is quite significant.
Yeah.
3,300 jobs, they said.
Wow.
So they had a 12,000 organization, which is quite decent size.
Yeah.
But they're also spread throughout the world. So now I don't know that.
How deep are those effects? On specific markets? Or?
Is it exactly? Is it like, because IRCC would be headquartered here. You'd have offices throughout Canada, but really they have like visa processing offices throughout the world. So maybe that's where it's being cut. We don't know.
I think personally though, like this year, because last year is what you would call like a bad market in Ottawa. You look back to when like Harper.
I think 2023 was a bad market. You think 24 was worse?
2024 volume wise was like 11% better than 2023.
Yeah.
But in terms of like what actually happened in terms of like price movement, like it was like 1.3% up.
Yeah, it's pretty
like on average. But that is what you call a bad market in Ottawa specifically. Like like you what was it, 14, 15, 16 or 15, 16, 17?
Yeah, before draft.
Yeah, like those were bad years in real estate in Ottawa,
and it was stable,
and it was 1%.
Yeah,
it was 1 point something percent increase.
Yeah.
So like you're coming out of sure higher volume, but like you're coming out of what's a bad year, but rates have now come down. So I think that what happens with the government is a factor, but I think that this year you'll see a good little spike in price regardless, and of course you're not counting for like a black swan event, like something World War III or something like this, right?
Yeah.
Like these things obviously like so unpredictable. You can't say, oh well, I think World War III is gonna happen, so this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if you just look at what like the market's doing in general, all the people that you talk to them every day, oh I'm gonna wait, oh the wait
in
for rates to come down in 2024.
Yeah.
So even if some people lose their jobs and stuff, you're still going to have the demand from the previous years, because 2023 when rates went up, people weren't really buying. Some of that volume did spill into 2024.
Yeah.
But now we're light at the end of the tunnel, this kind of thing. So as much as these factors do affect the market, I still think that there's going to be enough demand with lower interest rates, with 30-year amortization, with all these kind of programs that the government's running out to try and stir some kind of movement in the market, I think that Ottawa is going to a nice jump in price this year, and then we'll just see something very, very stable for following probably 3-4
But like,
years.
so let's say with uncertainty, like what would you think is going to actually happen to the government jobs? If there's uncertainty economically, and if our economy is not doing very good, generally speaking, and our inflation is coming down, if you're the Department of Finance, are you going to say, oh my God, the economy's shit, let's lay off 10,000 people? I don't think so.
No.
You know, but I was really surprised that IRCC is cutting right now. But that's because it's linked 100% to the volume of immigrants that are coming in.
Yeah.
So I think programs like that, you know, the next thing I'd be worried about is anything that's environment based. Because if the States is not signing anything new and they walked out of the Paris Accords, which is climate, you best believe that a bunch of G7s are going to walk out.
Yeah.
Big banks are already walking out. The Canada is making a tiny little dent in that. So we're going to have all these different programs that are coming out that are no longer required. And as a result, they're going to cut down those administration or recycle those funds. I'm honestly not too worried about Ottawa. I'm more concerned about the Toronto market. Vancouver's got a mind of its own. Calgary is poised to do well, with or without tariffs. Like, I think they'll be fine. But I think Toronto, I'd be more concerned about Toronto.
Like the big cities, basically.
Toronto's overbuilt.
Yeah.
Whereas Ottawa is now probably, I wouldn't say overbuilt, but we have a bunch of rentals coming up. Toronto's got tons of condos, and it needs time to soak
they're
up.
not moving at all.
Well, you cut immigration
Yeah.
like significantly, and Toronto takes a big chunk of immigrants, right?
Yeah.
But Toronto is a beast, though. It will swallow that up within a year or two. Like, but it's just gonna take time for it to. And once that happens, nobody's building nothing new. So what ends up happening is that now all of a sudden, like a couple of years down, it's going to be
the other way.
All in all, I think this year is going to be a good year.
I think so. One thing that you mentioned is how last year wasn't a good year. The volume was up, but the pricing didn't increase.
That's right.
So you're basing it not being a good year because prices didn't increase. I ultimately, if business is still good and business and volume is up 10%, I'd still consider that a pretty decent
I'm
year.
totally with you. And I normally never agree with Rabieh. Yeah. You guys know that for a fact.
I mean, yeah.
Because
the thing is,
you're having more listings come to the market.
I know, but there's more exchanges.
But there's more
trust.
So you're looking at it as there's less profit for somebody who's trying to sell something. I'm looking at the consistency of the transactions.
Yeah.
And I think that's somewhere where we're sitting really well right now, because all those people said everything's too expensive and they're waiting for the rates to come down. We're waiting for them to come down more. What I think is happening now is that more people are like, okay, I think we've reached the point where the rates are getting to where they're going to be. Now's the time to jump back into the market. A lot of those people who are waiting are going to jump in now for sure.
I think that
I just don't think that we're going to have that major price increase.
Well, but
we're going to have a slight increase.
But if the volume is up, like going up like that, then for sure.
See, what I think is going to happen though is the uncertainty that you were talking about. I think is going to have a balance effect for those people who were preparing to do something. There's going to be a huge chunk of them who are going to kind of take a step back because of the uncertainty, and then the other ones are going to move forward with the purchase. I think that's going to balance out the supply and demand aspect of it, where we're still going to have transactions, but it's not going to be this free for all, because I think people have also become more weary of just bidding excessively on homes.
Yeah, I don't think free for all. And when I say like a jump, I'm not saying like 20%, 15%, this kind of thing. But in Ottawa, it's like historically, it's a pretty like predictable market, and we use 5% all the time for investment projections, this kind of thing. So from because this is the advice I tell my clients, you tell your clients that when you average it out, it's going to be 5%. So I use 5% as kind of like a benchmark. Well, the last 10 years the average was actually 7.1%, but you have a 20% in 2020. The 2021 20% was countered by the downfall in 2023, so that kind of washes itself out. So it is a bit skewed from 2020, I would say. But the last 10 years, you're also counting like 4 years where it was 1% increase.
Yeah.
So like all of these things, it's all averages, right?
No, I'd say the last 10 years has been an anomaly of a decade, like between COVID and then those shitty years after. Because the shitty years after Harper cut, it was because everybody else was already in motion throughout Canada. GDP was going up already. And then so now, which is normal conservative government would do, is okay, economy is doing good. Let's pull back our purse strings on the government spending. Fair enough. But the rest of the economy was doing good. And then so as Ottawa was recovering from those cuts or those fear of cuts, because that's really what ended up being, there was cuts, but like it was through attrition really. Anyways, COVID hit. Like so we had a few years of recovery and then boom. But we also didn't have the crash that all the other cities had in North America and throughout the world, right? In 2008, 2009, right. 10, like what happened to them? Like then we were in a hot market.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like every single one of those years, but we really good market.
No, but like 2008 was like 4 point something percent.
Yeah, and I remember buying a house and going in 2010. It was like multiple offers. 2009, I'm like, what the hell? Like I thought you were supposed to negotiate. You know, how is that possible? And I didn't understand it back then. You know, yeah.
I think we've even already started to see it though. Like
I've
seen multiple offers in the last 2 weeks.
For
right?
Sure.
We talked about this, right?
Yeah,
like on Mastermind. Like
I think that's because of the lack of supply on the market, and I'm thinking there's still a lot of people who are waiting for that spring market to kick in before.
But the supply on the market was increasing in terms of months of inventory.
It's still a couple months worth of inventory.
Yeah, like,
which is better than it was.
It depends on what it is, though, right? There's a lot of houses that are.
That's exactly.
It comes back to what people want right now, and what I'm seeing a lot of people want is they don't want to have to put work into a house. They want to buy something finished. When you're getting something really nice at a good price point, that's going. Yeah. That's multiple offers.
Yeah,
that's going in 3 to 5 days. Yeah. That's going before you're able to get your client in to see it. Those for sure.
Yeah, I think that still drives the price. Like as that continues to happen, because let's say you have like out of 100 properties, whatever, 15-20% of those are like properties that are selling like this, like just nice properties, they're priced right. Those are still the comparables for the ones that are not as nice, and you're still, if you're driving up that top end, like.
Yeah, then you say, oh,
I don't know that there's that many, though. I think 15-20% being that nice, I think that's a little bit of a...
That's 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6, you saying?
Yeah. I'm thinking that's still
wrong.
A little bit
you
steep.
Think so? It's like 1 out of 10, you think?
I'd say more like 1 out of 10. I mean, again, it just depends on what area you're looking at too, right? And what style of home, but...
Yeah. I don't know, like... I get what you're trying to say. Do you want to explain what inventory is? Since we got into the topic of inventory of homes,
just like homes on the market, and then we reference a stat called months of inventory. So if no new properties came onto the market today, how many months would it take based on what's on the market? How many months would it take to sell?
How many days has it been on the market?
All the inventory on the market, inventory being the product, which is properties. And if you're less than 3 months of inventory, then that is considered a buyer's market. If you're seller's market, other way around. 3 to 6 is balance, and 6 and more is buyer's market.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
However, I will say that during probably Q4 of last year and maybe a little bit into Q3, people were claiming that it was a buyer's market, even though statistically it was not. So within those parameters, it can still feel one way or another. Like
absolutely.
I think because of how quickly things were going before, right? Things were sitting on the market for days before they're sold.
Yeah, that's
when you go from days to weeks or a month to 2 months. Now it feels like the whole market shifted.
It's
right?
the trend. It's a trend. Is it going to like faster or slower? If it's faster, things are selling faster, even if it's still 2-3 months on the market, but selling faster than usual, then it feels like a seller's market.
Give the perception of that.
Yeah. But you still have bargaining power and whatnot.
But the last couple of years like skewed people's expectations like heavily. Like people will say, oh, like it should only take like 7 days to like sell my house, right? Like, no, that's not really the case anymore.
But now at least we could predict how long it would take to sell your house at a given price point.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like in 2023, I would think, oh yeah, this should sell in like about a month, and then now, like you're 2 months in, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And then like you're looking at the stats, and like all the stats are moving up, and you're like, something's weird. Like the whole market, everything's just stagnant, right?
Yeah.
Things weren't moving,
Yeah.
and you didn't have predictability. When you don't have predictability, a client comes in and says, I want to buy this house, but I need to sell my house. How long do you think? Oh, buddy, go sell your house.
And then we'll figure
And then
it out.
we'll start.
we'll figure it
As
out.
we're getting showings, as we're getting feedback, then
Yeah.
we're gonna put offers for you.
Yeah.
You know, or we have to do one condition on the other. I had a deal fall through in December because it was a 4-level refusal.
There's chains to this.
Chains. Okay, so for the viewers, basically, I'm selling a condo. The purchase of that condo is based on the
sale
buyer,
of the buyer's property.
yeah, the sale of the buyer's property, who got a conditional sale based on that other property,
Oh my God,
which
man.
got a conditional sale based on a fourth property. And so everybody was looking at that last guy and see if he's gonna sell.
Yeah.
And at one point, like, you know, my clients were like, okay, like, you know,
It's a
are they
joke.
staying or are they not? And then
Yeah.
the buyer side was saying the same thing,
Yeah.
and then we ended up like canceling and then just going back on the market and sold like right away.
Yeah.
It's crazy how things happen, you know. You know, some buyers don't like even entertaining a first refusal as much as sellers, because if you do the inspection, are you going to get the money back if you use your financing?
just-
you know?
Yeah.
But
But
you
that's
can
just something you have to
negotiate
go into that knowing.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, you want the peace of mind, then you have to spend the money to get that peace of mind.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go through, it doesn't go through. Like,
yeah.
look at it, it's no different than insurance. We pay insurance every month. Do we really get anything out
It's
of
also
it?
no different than doing an inspection anyways on a property. Like, you're gonna fork that money out, and if the inspection comes out and is like, oh, I don't
Yeah,
want to
but
buy
you-
this anymore, like,
Yeah.
you're still not.
But let's say you say, I do want to buy this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
but
you
it
did
falls
spend
through
the
because
money.
of other things.
But it falls through because the other buyer says, you know what, I will take it. I have a first right of refusal, so I'm
Yeah.
going to take it.
Well, couldn't you?
why would you do the inspection before they made their decision?
I was just
Well,
gonna
you
say,
have to have a firm deal. So you're the new buyer. Okay, I'm the seller, and I have a deal with Jacob.
Okay, so Jacob has a first refusal on your property.
Yeah, so he's
when
trying to sell his
So
house.
when I put an offer on your property, Jacob has 24 to 48 hours
No.
to make a decision.
No, so it depends on how you wrote the clause.
Well, if you
wrote
give
the-
him longer, then, like,
No,
why would
Jacob.
I want to put?
Why
an
would
offer in?
Why would I put Jacob's deal in jeopardy when I don't even know if you're gonna firm up? Like you're just gonna. What if you do a conditional deal to me?
Yeah,
You still have your financing and your inspection, and then I tell Jacob. Jacob says no. You could. He could have the house. It's too rushed
so
for
he's
me.
just gonna wait till the last minute.
He's
to
gonna
do it.
wait till you firm up. Like the seller's gonna wait till you firm up.
before he goes
Then-
to
Actually, no
Jacob.
problem. Jacob probably already got an inspection, so let me buy it off him.
Okay, what I normally would do is just put it in the offer. Should this deal fall through because Jacob took the house, pay me back my inspection. But
Yeah.
some clients are like, well, but like if I go through this process and I want the house, I'm gonna like feel like shit if I don't get the house. So also there's an emotional
Yeah,
aspect
yeah.
of it because Jacob's just gonna come in and swoop, right?
To be fair, I would never. I probably if he has more than like a day or two to make a decision, then
No, it'll be
like
24 hours, yeah, 48 max.
yeah, like I don't know if I want to even like partake in that because if
Yeah.
yeah, take forever to fucking like if I'm gonna go through all this,
You might miss
motion-
out on something else instead.
Yeah,
I'd
of
rather just roll
course.
the dice
But that's what I mean.
and
So
keep
some
my eye on that
buyers,
property.
so we go, oh, it's good for the seller because
Mhm.
you have that, but sometimes it does affect it. You know,
Yeah.
some people don't show up. Like the showings will go down big time once you do
once
that.
you have a first refusal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like, I'm not saying like don't do it. It's just that when you do it, you have to really get a top dollar for it as a seller. Like, you know, I wouldn't do it.
Although
just
it does
half-half.
give you some security as a seller because like, I mean, obviously you're gonna vet the bu-
Jacob.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep pointing at Jacob because that was the example. But like, if I'm coming to you and I have an offer for your client's property, and I say, oh, we want a first refusal,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. You're gonna look at my listing and decide for yourself if you
Yes.
think it's gonna sell. If I have a townhouse and it's listed for $1 million, you're never accepting my first refusal, or I would hope you wouldn't. Like,
You mean like
Shit.
in the suburbs?
yeah.
It's downtown. Be like, "Oh, that's weird."
Yeah, no, but like a Barhaven townhouse for $1 million, like you would never accept the first refusal because I'm never gonna sell that listing.
Yeah.
But if I have a listing that to you and your client looks good and looks like it will sell and you're willing to take that on, it gives your seller some confidence because at this point, this is the bottom line. Like my offer is the bottom line. If I offer you 700, now you're not even entertaining anything.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, exactly.
You know what I mean? So like as a seller, even though your showings go down, the people that do come see it are probably more serious and are not going to try and lowball you because it's not even worth their time to lowball you.
When I see a first refusal, I usually know that the price has to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Because it has to be enticing for the seller to accept it and to wait on the market longer.
Yeah.
And
it has to be acceptable.
Yeah.
And not just like, oh, I have to do this because you really don't.
No, like
you could just say, wait until you sell yours and then come back.
Yeah, exactly. It's not bad. Yeah. I think the market will change, and I do think the volume is going to be a little bit up. Like you said, you're seeing it now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But really, if we're going to see more volume, we're also going to see more sellers get motivated by their neighbor who sold.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh my God, I've been wanting to sell, and buddy next door sold for this much. My house is bigger or smaller, and then they do their comparison and they have an idea. So then it motivates them to come on the market.
Yeah, but they're also going to go buy. So, like more properties will go around, but in terms of like,
yes, you're right.
Like volume, it's
but also, I'm just trying to gather my thoughts here. I just feel like you're not wrong. People are going to see that, but I still think it's only going to be within certain price points too. Right? I think again, I feel like we're very repetitive when we say this, but the lower price points, that's where you're going to see a lot of people just jumping and selling.
Yeah.
The higher price points, I think, in the bigger homes are still what's going to kind of sit a little bit longer, just because price point wise.
Well, that's natural.
No, but I think that's going to happen later.
Yeah.
Like I think everybody has their time. It starts off with the small ones.
Yeah.
And then as like in June, you're going to see the big guys, like the bigger houses or the more expensive property.
Yeah.
I call it like the entry level points and then the upgraders. Townhouses get it quickly.
But I feel like now, is where we're going to get those upgraders. Is this year.
This year.
Because there's going to be the people who bought before the boom happened who are still happy with that. Where now when to sell, maybe not as much as they did in the boom, but it's still going to be profitable for them to make that upgrade. That's what I was trying to say.
I think most people would do the switch. Like, let's say they're in a townhouse and they want a single house. Affordability, we talk about affordability, but I think for those folks, they'll be able to do it, especially dual income and whatnot. All people want to hear is that there is a reasonable assurance that you'll be able to buy and sell within a natural time frame that's comfortable. Within all like obviously it's a process, right? When we're changing people's lives around. Just generally speaking, and that's why I like the volume. I like it. What?
Yeah.
What?
You prefer the volume over the increase of price.
I don't care about the increase. The increase, obviously.
Nothing.
What were you going to say?
It just made me laugh because you were like, I'm changing people's lives. It's like,
I am.
I'm a superhero.
Like, no, I feel like
we're ruining their life.
We're changing people's like where they live.
Yes, I got it.
But I am changing people's lives.
I tried to bite my tongue, but you made me say it.
But everybody sees your stupid face on the camera. And
then but only one of us is on the screen at one time, and now this is going to be...
Yeah, it's going to go beep, boop, beep, boop, like a ping pong.
I will also say that like the people that are coming onto the market this year or that will be coming to the market, it'll be more of a choice rather than a have to.
Yeah.
Whereas the last couple of years, some people just put their market on the house, their house on the market because their payments are too high or their refi was coming up and the stress test was still in place for that type of scenario.
Sorry, I was shivering.
Whereas now, because I'm so good at talking,
it's like amazing. It's just like wow.
But now that like there is no stress test for refining, sorry, not refining,
moving over,
lenders, that kind of thing. Because that doesn't exist anymore, it gives people some more security in terms of the affordability side. Interest rates are lower, so that obviously also helps. So the people that are selling are making the conscious decision strategically to do so, not as much like force of hand.
Yeah. It was like pretty like half the deals were probably pretty depressing,
Yeah.
Past couple years. Because it's like you're having really tough conversations and
the price came down, so like you're trying to negotiate with them and they're so like
tight.
They're so tight.
Like they don't
because-
even want to sell the property.
Yeah, and now they're getting
Well,
milked.
how many
Yeah.
times have you seen like on Geo Warehouse what they bought it for, then
Yeah.
what they had it listed for, and you're doing the
Yeah.
math, and you're like, man, this guy's like
And
It's
taking a
about to
beating on
bleed
this,
50K.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And people just-
commissions, land transfer tax,
Yeah.
moving expense,
Yeah.
and then just the emotional roller coaster associated to it. Like, man, it's
But some people had no choice. That's the tough part about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, like what, man, it was I'm happy 2023 and 2024 was done. At our last client appreciation event, I remember saying fuck you to 2023, but this year I'm like, I can't say the same shit, but kind of feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not 2023, now 24.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
I think 25 is already looking like
It's looking better, yeah.
I-
Yeah.
Anybody I talk to in the industry, not even just realtors, is everyone's like, oh yeah, my 2025 is definitely picked up a
Are you
lot
talking
more
about
quickly
just
than
any business sector or just like in the industry? Real
no,
estate
in the industry of real estate, but not
Okay.
just necessarily realtors.
Yeah.
But how about like businesses that you know? Like those who we're gonna invite on? Would you say
Yeah.
restaurants, coffee shops, investment guys? Would
don't
you say these guys are seeing a better return or no?
I think it just depends on that one's very specific to the locations and what they bring to the table. I think if you're doing
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
different,
I don't
then
know
yeah.
if you could broadly say,
Yeah.
oh, restaurants are doing better.
I think 2024 restaurants were not doing good to the point where banks were not lending as much.
Yeah.
I also heard that banks are not lending as much to even doctors, pharmacies, things like that when they used to be like a very, very easy
Yeah.
approval.
Yeah.
We've helped a few people get some business loans recently, and
Yeah.
and it's pretty tough, like the amount of
Well, even for my own side project, like banks are not even like when they used to have a cap of X amount, they've like cut that in
Yeah.
half just
see,
across the
yeah,
board.
that's what I'm hearing. Yeah,
I think everyone's just more risk averse right now across the board, which
Yeah.
obviously makes sense. Everyone's
Yeah.
kind of tightening up and gearing up for God knows what. But
and we went through some situations where we could tell that the landlords are also very like commercial landlords are also weary of who's going to come in.
yeah,
Like how many pot shops shut down?
Yeah.
Like honestly, I think maybe 75% of
Yeah.
them shut down. Like it's absolutely
yeah,
insane.
but they over
We knew that.
spread their wings.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
to say.
Everybody knew that.
but I feel like everyone just got into that industry thinking it was just going to take off.
Yeah.
Because even as many as shut down, I know a few that also opened
yeah.
and are still there and are still very successful, right? So
Yeah.
it just comes down to the
actually,
work ethic and the marketing.
I
and
was
stuff.
talking to somebody who used to own a weed store.
Marijuana.
And he was saying that like at first like rushing
Yeah,
people had loyalties to ones like I don't really smoke as much anymore, but like when I first got into real estate, like I would like Tokyo Smoke, for example, over like
Okay.
Whatever
And was it
other
actually
store, right?
different or
so no
or just you like the
like
service?
it was
not
just
not majorly, but all that to say, like he said that over time though, it became less of an actual like business and like more of a like not that it's less more of what's most convenient because
Oh.
there's so
Yeah, 'cause
many
there's-
all over the
yeah.
place. It's people are just going to the closest one.
Yeah, they
and,
all offer
and
the
they
same.
ate themselves
Yeah.
because there were so many of them. Because you're on this corner, but the next corner has another one. So like
Yeah.
your clientele is now just one block of Ottawa.
Yeah.
Because like why the hell would I go walk or drive anywhere if I have one right here?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
like he was telling me that like it turned into like a shit show because everybody just kept eating each other.
But I
I
feel
can
like it
totally
comes
see
down
that,
to
yeah.
marketing and service too, right? There's certain ones that'll go into and certain ones that I tried. I actually went to one that was closer to my house. I walked in, I got something, I left. I'm like, I'm never walking back into this
Oh,
place
really?
again. Yeah. It was
Do you
super
want to have those
interesting.
people on the podcast?
No. But it was just like a depressing spot. It was all white. There was no decor. It was just like
They think the product's going to sell itself.
pretty much.
Yeah,
And
that's-
so I went in and the guy wasn't all excited. But like you go into some of these shops and they're all excited. Hey, how are you? And I'm just like, I'm great. How are you? And then we sit there and have like
He says this to me all the time.
we'll
How
have like
are
a
ya?
good 5-minute conversation
He does
about
this
the different
nasal.
products before I actually buy anything. You know, that's
You sound like Trudeau when you how are you?
How are ya?
Trudeau.
But I think if you provide that service, I'm more inclined to go into one of those spaces where you're going to be friendly. You're going to have a full on conversation with me. Rather than be sitting there behind the counter like this and just like, what do you
Because they're
doing?
high
Everybody's
already.
high.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
on their own supply.
Give me what you got.
We should have another topic, but I guess episode 3, we will have a guest.
Next episode.
We will have a guest. It's gonna be good. I think we confirmed in the group chat we're gonna do something investment related. Beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yep.
See if we can get somebody with crypto experience.
Yeah.
Investment experience outside of Elliott.
Yeah.
I would love it if our viewers would suggest somebody. If you have somebody that you think would be awesome on this show, please let us know. Right in the comments, or send us a DM.
There's a business you want us to highlight.
Yeah. Or if you have a business, and
no promises.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding.
But if we get like really good, discounts.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
How good of a deal are you going to give us?
Want to buy a house? I'll feature you.
All right, that's enough from these greedy fucks. This has been episode 2, season 2. Bam, broke ass millionaires
with Prince.
Yeah,
see, we did have a guest on the show.
Hold on.
What's up, Prince?
Say something, my boy.
He's smelling it.
I hope that picked it up.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
See you
Have a
next
good
time.
one.
All right, boys.
Bam.
Bam.